Webheads, Friendly Neighborhood Spoon here, and today we are going to look at Hot Toys' 1/6 scale figure of Miles Morales' upgraded suit from one of the dopest games of all time, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Starting off with a quick look at the packaging, we've got the Hot Toys exclusive sticker. Apparently this was limited to 2,000 units in some areas. I don't know what that means or where they were, but I'm super stoked to have one of them. At the front of the box, we got our boy Miles Morales, of course, with the newly upgraded Venom Blast look with the blue lightning bolts as opposed to the yellow lightning bolts that were in his first game. Along the sides and the back of the box, we've got this very cool spot UV reflective Venom symbiote motif going on. And along the back, of course, your usual Hot Toys information, the warnings, the choke hazards, why am I laughing at that? The warnings, the choke hazards, the Hot Toys store retail locations. I wish that at the back of every box, or at least even inside the box, we had the credits to artists that worked on the project, but it could be different with this one because the Spider-Man video game figures do not come with a head sculpt, and usually there's an artist tied to that single head sculpt that comes with these figures. Honestly, one of the biggest drawbacks that I have with these Spider-Man video game head sculpts, I wish Hot Toys would just give us one or two. Especially since you spend so much time in the game with the human variations or the unmasked variations of Miles Morales and Peter Parker. Along the sides of the box, of course, we have the 1/6 scale Miles Morales upgraded suit collectible figure VG M55, which is the figure model number or code. And on the tops and bottoms, we have the Spider-Man 2 logo. Now, taking off the slipcase, we've got the massive window previewing the figure and accessories inside. And on the back, we've got this neat little graphic that says Marvel's Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales upgraded suit 1/6 scale figure VG M55. I don't know where these design choices came from. It is very messy, but sure, Hot Toys, do your thing. Do your thing. On the bottom left over here, we've got some more symbiote tentacles. Video game masterpiece. This figure is part of that line from Hot Toys, and of course the Marvel Spider-Man 2 logo. All right, let's open this bad boy up. Oh, why did I undo the top? I usually do the bottom of the boxes so that if the box is ever on display or if someone ever looks at it, the box sort of looks mint and unopened from the top because no one ever looks at the bottom of the box. It's kind of sneaky like that. It kind of makes everything look fresh at the top and brand new, like it's sealed, but it's not. But oh well, I messed up. I did the wrong piece of tape. Oh man, I love the smell of Hot Toys' new Hot Toys figures. We've got some new webbing accessories that I'm not used to, so that's pretty freaking dope. Tape on both sides. I am probably going to just do this one side so that it can hinge off of the middle, and that will stay secured. We'll take a look at these later. We've got some really cool new webbing accessories. Okay, so along with the web attachments, we've got one more in here, which is a spiral web attachment. Really freaking cool. I'm really liking these new webbing effects that they got. We have 2 pieces of new Venom Blasts, again, upgraded from the video game. I'm not gonna tell you how they get upgraded because that's spoilers. You can play through it, or you can watch me play through it on the link in the description below to my gaming channel, where I have my entire playthrough uploaded for Spider-Man 2. Oh, the new suit! Oh my god! Of course, with every Spider-Man figure comes with the webbing attachment wrist peg or palm attachments so that you could put the webbing attached to the hands. He comes with 4 interchangeable hands, including the ones that are already on him. He's got a couple fists. He comes with a couple thwippy thwip hands. These look like Venom chain ability hands where Miles Morales reaches towards enemies and does a little Darth Palpatine shock and chains multiple enemies at one go with some crazy blue lightning Venom Blast. And the last pair of hands look like they are the hands on surface, I'm climbing and or superhero posing hands that you would have where they would just sit on a surface. Extra wrist pegs, of course. And this time around, he only comes with 2 sets of interchangeable eyes if you are including the ones that are already on his face. The older previous figures came with a whole bunch of them where they would be a bit more squinted, a bit more angry, I suppose, just to show a bit more emotion. This time around, we are only given a wide open one and a half open lens. A bit of a downgrade for me, but I have the other Miles Morales figures as well, so I'm gonna assume that the eyes on the head sculpts are identical from the older figure and this one, so they're probably interchangeable, and maybe Hot Toys assumes that people are just going to have all the different variations of the eyes already, so they don't need to make more, which is understandable, much less wasteful, especially considering the web accessories that they came with. None of them are identical from the older ones as well, so you pretty much just have a new range of web accessories. So let's get this headpiece off. Let us carefully dissect this plastic off of his wrist, legs, and feet. No, of course this one's a struggle. Okay, now that everything is off, first impressions, I am already loving it. I mean, Miles Morales looks perfect. Hot Toys has already nailed the formula for how to get the suits to look right from the video game and translate them into a figure. The way they execute it with the rubber sculpted chest area to give the body a bit more muscle and definition, all the way down to just the materials that they use for the suits in general, are just always on point. They're exactly what you think they would look like in real life versus in the games, and everything is just rendered absolutely perfectly. From the textures of the different panels of the suit, from his chest all the way down to his feet, and the different panels along the sides of his legs and the sides of his arms, and the different design elements all the way across his back. Hot Toys, flawless execution. It's so freaking good. I don't think that we'd be able to give a proper review without comparing it to the previous version of the Miles Morales figure from his original game, so we're going to do that. But before we do, let's just take a quick look at the display. Now with the display, it's so clean, it's so nice. Upgraded suit, it doesn't say Miles Morales, that's totally fine with me, but it's got his spider on it, it's got Marvel Spider-Man 2's logo on it, and it's just a nice, clean, simple design. I love it. Nothing much else to say about it really, it's pretty standard for Hot Toys Spider-Man video game figure stands. Ooh, it's got a nice red trim along the sides. Very clean, very simple. Well done job, good Hot Toys. Alright, I'm gonna set this aside and we will compare the figures from the previous version and this new upgraded suit version. Looking at the two figures, the biggest difference that I notice off the rip actually are the difference in textures and how pronounced they are on each of the suits. The previous version of Miles Morales feels a bit more flat with the textures. They don't really pop out of the suit as much as the upgraded suit does. The lines on the upgraded suit are so much more pronounced and you can see them more, especially with the way the light hits them. Of course, the biggest design element difference is along the side of the arms. He's got this cool tracksuit stripe going down the side of his left and right arms. Meanwhile, the original Miles Morales suit has the chevron that just goes and hugs his shoulder. The spider in the chest is pretty identical, only again I would say that the upgraded suit one stands out a bit more. I like the red that they've got going on the new Miles Morales suit. It's a bit more saturated and a bit more warm. The red on the older one has a bit more of a bluish tone on it, and of course with it being an upgraded suit, you can't upgrade the suit without having to put a bunch more lines and design elements all across the top and bottom of the suit, especially when you're looking at the legs. There's so many more panels on the upgraded suit. That's how you can tell it's an upgraded suit. You've got more lines on it. I'm not making fun, it's just an observation. I think it's really, really cool. Both suits are really freaking sweet. I honestly just love Miles Morales' suit design, and I do hope that Hot Toys continues to do what they did with the previous video games where they had a bunch of the other suits made into figures. I hope they continue that trend and continue to add stuff to my collection. Oh, I just noticed another difference are the design of his shoes. The original Miles Morales, it looks like he's wearing more of a sneaker, while the newer Miles Morales, it doesn't have the shape of an entire shoe. It doesn't have a tongue like the original one does. And it's a bit more Spider-Man-ish, where his shoes are a bit more integrated with the rest of the suit. The head sculpts are pretty much identical. The main red element that goes along the spiders and including the spider on the back are pretty identical. The webbing across his shoulders and up onto his neck are all identical. There's a slight design difference between the back of his hands and of course along the waist as well. These figures are awesome side by side. They are great companions for each other. Now let's take a look at the rest of the webbing effects that we got this time around. These are all new, and I actually noticed that they are executed a little bit differently compared to the original ones that you get in the older versions. The older versions were actually identical to the MCU Spider-Man webbings that you would get, and they all literally had the exact same webbing effects. So this is really cool to see Hot Toys give us a new set and a fresh look for the Spider-Man webbing. We have got one with a traditional web ball look to it, and the other with more of an arrowhead pierce look to it. I never noticed this little tip if it was in the game. I think this is really cool to have, especially in photos and on display. This would look really, really cool and sharp. They usually come with one really, really long web swing web effect. This one's really clean and nice. Actually, I'm going to take out the older webbing accessories and see if we can compare to see if I'm right, that these look differently. I've got all my accessories in these little container bins, and here is one of the webbing effects. Oh, I see. Okay. They're actually just entirely clear. So I love that they went this route and they made them a bit more white and look more traditional to the webbing that we know from the comic books and in movies and the video games. I rarely use the webbing effects, only sometimes when I'm taking photos for them on Instagram or anything like that. Follow me, Spooner Martinez. I also really like the way that the webs look in general. In the older ones, it looks like they just kind of did a little lazy webbing design to it, where it's just a coil around a single thread across the whole way through. But this one looks more like our webbing that we know and love in the comic books, which is a bit more of an organic feel. No, this is sweet. I love the new web effects. It kind of makes the older ones look all obsolete and kind of useless. So this is really cool. Hot Toys, thank you for the upgrade for the web effects. Now, moving along from this super large web swing one, we have this cool triple shot piercing arrowhead one. Now, my memory is garbage and I can't remember if this was an ability in the game, if you could fire 3 webs at the same time, or maybe this is just a visualization of what it looks like when you do like a spread shot and then they all come together at the end. Regardless, really cool effect. I dig it. And of course, lastly, we have one really, really long straight shot webbing effect. Effect? What do you call these? Is this an effect for a toy? I know it's an accessory, but like, what do you call this? If you know what I mean, let me know in the comments below. Give me some edumacated answers. There you have it, our unboxing of Hot Toys' 1/6 scale figure of Miles Morales' upgraded suit from the dopest video game of all time, in my heart at least, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. If you enjoyed the video, please do the thing and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Spoon. I love you, stay spicy, I'll see you real soon.